Chapter 51 Home Run. Summary. It's time to take off. Everything definitely goes 100% fine. Don't worry about it. Izuku settles into the comfy co-pilot seat next to Denki as the blonde prepares for takeoff. They'd be spending quite a few months on the ship, so they'd made sure that everything was comfortable, especially the seats at the control panels. There were 2 pilot seats, one for him and one for Denki. Then there were the ones for navigation and weapons. They technically hadn't decided who would be in charge of weapons and nav, but Izuku could guess who would naturally gravitate towards them. Honestly, Izuku couldn't imagine a world where Kacchan wasn't the one in charge of shooting at people. It'd be against the natural order of things. The ship didn't have the most advanced defenses, but it should be enough to keep them safe. Anyway, Mei would probably upgrade them the first chance she got. Nav wasn't as obvious, but with how Ochako had taken the lead on Oxyus while they were still finding their way around, she'd probably be the one to fill the position in no time. But that could be figured out later, when they'd had time to actually get a hold of things. Honestly, he's not sure if he remembers how to fly. It'd been so long since their brief stint in open space. They'd need to take things slow to actually learn the ropes. Sure, they looked into things as much as they could while on planet, but theory can only get one so far. Still, they had time to figure it out. "Are we ready to go?" Mina asked, plopping down on the center sofa. The rest of the group sat down around her, relaxing into the cushions. "Yep," Denki chirped. "It's time to fly." He confidently started up the ship, letting a soft rumbling fill the interior. A few excited whoops came from the circle of passengers. A smile grew on Izuku's face. This was it. All their hard work was finally paying off. They were going to go back home. Izuku gripped his seat as the ship wobbled, taking off for the first time in who knows how long. The ground slowly got further and further away as they ascended into the open air. Izuku stared out at the pink and green canopy. He was going to miss it, but he wouldn't let that drag him down. Izuku let his excitement take over him. His excitement at the fact that he's flying a spaceship. Well, co-piloting, but it still counts. That he actually helped to fix up using alien technology. That they were going on a super cool space adventure. That they're finally heading back to Earth. "Hey, how about we fly over town as one final goodbye?" Ochako proposed. "Ooh, yeah, I wonder what it looks like from above," Mei said. Denki smiled. "One pass by the town, coming up." The ship jutted forward slightly, smacking Izuku into the center control. "Sorry." Denki winced while Izuku rubbed his nose. They'd work on the flying later. The town slowly rolled into view. Everyone quickly got up from their seats, looking down on the town from a bird's-eye view. Little people walked little streets, pittering along their peaceful days. Izuku smiled at the sight. "I'm gonna miss it," Denki said, everyone nodding in agreement. "But it's time to go." Izuku was just about to prepare the systems to leave orbit, when a few small, sleek black ships began to enter the planet's atmosphere, burning red halos surrounding them as they fell. "Whoa, did we trigger air traffic control or something?" Denki asked, nervousness creeping into his voice. "I'm not sure what they're talking about," Fastel said, suddenly stiff. "But those don't look like any government ships I've ever seen. They look familiar. In a bad way." "Fuck," Kacchan cursed. "Get back to the fucking trees. Don't let them see us." Quickly, the ship descended, coming to settle between wide canopies. The red of the ship should actually blend in okay with the brighter pinks of the trees. It'd probably be fine. They all watched with rapt attention as the ships hovered menacingly over the town. Everyone held their breath, waiting for something to happen, something to prove this was all some big overreaction. In eerie sync, 2 of the 3 ships descended, and a haunting glow emanated from the remaining one. It shot out a concentrated beam of energy that tore through the fountain below. Chaos immediately erupted. The once peaceful little people began scurrying like ants as invading forces stormed from the grounded ships. What? No, what was going on? "Dunce face!" Kachan shouted. "Get the fuck over there!" Kachan's harsh tone snapped Izuku back to himself. They needed to help. Well, they may not know exactly what was going on. Someone was attacking their town. They needed to get in there and help. He'd been hoping to get more time to get back into things, but they'd done enough. They'd worked hard. They could do this. They could fend off whatever attacker was laying siege to the town that had taken them in when they were at their lowest. "Charge bolt," Ochako said. "Get ready to drop me, Katsuki, and Pinky. We'll provide ground support while you, Deku, and Mei provide air support. Take care of the ship." "Roger," Denki said, flying over a clear stretch of ground. Izuku hit the unlock for the decontamination chamber, the inner door sliding open in response. The 3 didn't hesitate to open the outer hatch. Izuku could see wind whipping through their hair, through the now closed interior door. Ochako briefly touched Mina with all 5 fingers, and then they were gone. Okay, it's time to get his head in the game. "Mei, you're on weapons. You know how to work them, right?" Deku asked. Mei just cackled and slid into the seat. Screens fired up around her, giving the pink gremlin a 360 view of the ship. Izuku knew she and Kachan picked out the custom modifications they made to the system. She'd be blowing people up in no time. Just, hopefully, the attacking ships, not anyone in town. "Pyerpa, Fastel, if you want, you can go into one of the back bedrooms. If not, just stay on the lookout for hazards." Determined looks crossed the 2 kids' faces as they moved up to the front window, eyes scanning the scene. This was fine. They've got this. Ochako touched down on the ground with a soft thud, Mina following right behind. She tried to just lessen their gravity rather than remove it, but she's not sure if it worked. She definitely needs more practice. Releasing her quirk, Ochako steadied herself. Katsuki was already blasting off towards the nearest alien dressed in black tactical gear with crackling explosions. Dust was wafting through the air, disturbingly reminiscent of their kidnapping in the big city. Shouts rang through the air as people ran away from the chaos. From what Ochako could see, there were only 8, maybe 10 attackers running around, but that was more than enough to have people terrified. Assailants barged into houses, pulling people out and chucking them to the ground, almost like they were looking for someone. Who? What? Oh, no. No. That could not be what was happening. They were supposed to have been okay. No. Mei had said, "Fuck!" "Hey!" Ochako shouted at the closest pair of invaders. They had a small kid in their grasp, terrified ocean blue eyes. The pair stopped at her call and turned to face her. "Yes, you fuckers! We're right here! Aren't we the ones you're after? Leave them alone!" The tall reptilian alien that was holding the kid carelessly tossed them to the side. They whimpered as they hit the ground, but quickly scrambled away into the chaos. The 2 shared a look before stalking towards her. She was so angry. How dare they attack the town, not caring who they hurt, just to get back their escaped merchandise or whatever they were to them. The anger was bubbling underneath her skin like never before. "I'm going to put your bones in chronological order." The two paused at her shout, confused but vaguely horrified expressions taking over their alien features. "Yeah, you heard me, you cranberry fucknuts! I will invert your kneecaps and rearrange your skeleton! No bones will be safe!" Ochako didn't hesitate to pull her electric bow staff from out of its holster. "Get ready to get home-runned into the sun!" Bolting forward, Ochako moved in close. With the aliens still frozen in shock, she managed to brush the lizard-like one with all 5 fingers, but before she could go to the other one, they made a grab for her with their 6 arms, which was way too many arms for one person to have. Rolling away from the grapple across the debris-ridden ground, she noticed they also had 6 eyes. Way too many eyes! But more eyes meant more real estate. The bones could wait for now. Ochako groped for the nearest patch of small debris before jumping up and tossing it into his eyes. The alien warbled in pain, hands going up to clutch their face. Wasting no time, she tapped him with all 5 fingers. The lizard alien attempted to punch her, but he was thrown off by the difference in gravity. While she threatened to hurtle them into the sun, murder was not on her to-do list, so she'd settle for miles away in the wilderness. The staff extended with a quiet snap, as a feral grin spread across her lips. She took great pleasure in the thwack sound as the 2 aliens soared off into the distance, Team Rocket style. Based on their trajectory, it would take a minute or 2 for them to land, and she could release her quirk. Maybe not the most practical thing in the middle of a battle, but oh, was it satisfying.